up a bit here. I believe I might be live on my channel as well. I think I've done it without you having to hop onto my screen.
I think you, well, you're welcome, Sal. You're welcome, Sal. I think you guys are awesome. I know you know how to do it, so I'm sure you're live. Somebody can probably check for you. You'll know you're live, and you'll start getting messages.
I've got
You'll get messages on your channel.
It says I've got 2 people on. Hang on a second.
Well, then you must be live.
So I've got that. I've got my phone. Will you get my lead from upstairs, please, sweetheart?
Hi, Deborah. We love you in Canada. We love our Canadian friends too. We really do. Lots of awesome folks in Canada. I love Canada because Canada has been in my backyard for the last day. The cool, crisp Canadian air has just been marvelous. It started this morning at 30 degrees, and it still just smelled wonderful all day, and it warmed up to about 60 degrees. Way too expensive here. It is expensive in Canada. It's expensive in UK. We have all kinds of taxes and tariffs and VATs and all that get added onto this. So I understand and I sympathize. I do. And if we could do something to reduce the price on this end, we would. But the ingredients are high quality and they are expensive to produce. So. And those of you that see it for sale on Amazon and all that they take a huge chunk of money. It's not cheap. So, you know what I'm going to do is so we want to talk about fasting. So we're going to talk about fasting, and we're going to talk about whole food plant-based eating today. And we're continuing to spread the message that eating healthy is the best way to stay healthy. I understand, Deborah. I really do. Deborah, if you send me an email, I'll do something for you. I'm going to give you my email.
Hi, my lovelies. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for telling me I look lovely. It's absolutely wonderful to see you. We've got Texas online. We've got all sorts of people online here saying hi, which is fantastic. Leanne, who sent us some goodies, is on as well, and so that's fantastic. Yay, brilliant. So
anybody who's been fasting today, we want to invite you to come on for a moment. You can Skype in with us and you can tell us about your experience if you like. If it's your first day fasting and you want to talk about how it's been going for you, I'd like to invite you. You just need to let me know, and I will send you a link. Lori, send me an email. I like to help people who have financial issues, and I have a special way of doing that. And so if you will let me know, I'll do something nice for you. So unfortunately, I can only do it in the U.S. of A. and Canada. I can't do anything about the U.K. And other countries. So, but I can do some nice things for our folks in U.S. and Canada. And my hands are tied elsewhere, but I do have some flexibility for those of you who are, let's say, in North America. Okay? Is a headache normal on fast days? When you're first starting, it is, because your body, Christina M., this is for you, because your body isn't used to fasting. So when I first started, it was for me, because I have a food addiction that I readily admit. And so for me, being able to say no to food was difficult at first, and it was a challenge, and it was a struggle. And yes, I got headaches, and yes, I would think constantly about food all day long. I don't get that anymore. Now it's 7 or 8 months later, since February. That doesn't happen to me any longer. So, Lori, I'll put my email right on here for you.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking for you to put that on so I could put it on my channel. John Gilmore. I've got Dr. John Gilmore. I didn't think that was right.
John Gilmore, MD at Mac.com. Wait a second, Sue. I can do something for you, I think. Over here. I think
Error
I can.
Making local recording. I don't know what that is. I'll just say okay to that. Am I still on live? Yeah. Alabama, Vancouver. I'd like material on fasting, please. Yeah, we're going to talk about fasting, Kate. Diana says she also has a food addiction. You can share your your feelings there. What else have we got? Yay, Georgia, Kentucky, Alabama.
Hey, Violet, you have a bad headache, you're fasting. Okay, so take a little Tylenol. If you can take Tylenol safely, that's fine. I promise you, I can see you, Deborah. I see you fine. I can promise you that these inconveniences as your body adjusts to not eating for a day at a time will become less and less problematic for you as time passes. Everybody, when they first start, they do get headaches. They do get little hunger pangs. They don't feel right. Sometimes they get jittery and shaky. But the biggest thing is they can't seem to get food off of their mind. So as a result, it's a little bit difficult when you first get started. But it is safe, and for type 2 diabetics, generally it's safe unless you're on a lot of insulin. And if you are and you want to talk to me more about it, then email me and I will be happy to help. I've been talking with a lot of people about that. So there you go, Violet. Good idea. Mary Jane, waiting for your copy of Proteinaholic. Fantastic. So, Race, we are the Vegan Club. That's what we are. We're calling ourselves Vegan Club because we had to come up with a name for what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so this is our contribution to helping people in the form of being healthier. And so there you go. That's what we're doing. Hi, Kelly. Thank you. That's sweet. You did take a nap, Violet. That's okay. A little nap's okay. You might have trouble getting to sleep tonight, though. So be careful with that. So I fasted on Monday and then on Wednesday. Yesterday, but I did not today because we had our little office Thanksgiving celebration, and I promise you I ate vegan. And the DW made a fantastic vegan pasta salad, and I got lots of that, and I am well fed to the point where I am probably not needing any dinner tonight.
Yay.
And that's just fine. I don't need any dinner tonight. I was 198 on my scale, 198 pounds on my scale. My goal is to stay under 200 and get closer to 190 as time progresses. So I'm working on that, and I'm going to invite all of you to get healthier by eating whole food plant-based. So we'll be talking about that. But today we're going to focus more on fasting since we have a lot of people who are fasting. And what I want to do, Sue, if we can, is if we do stay on for an hour, I want us to take like a 5-minute intermission and then restart so that we don't have this one super long video. So if people want to break it up a little bit, they can.
That's a good idea.
Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah, excellent idea.
Yep.
Good thought, because it is a long haul, isn't it? When they see a video that's like 3.5 hours long, it's like, oh gosh, have I got time?
Where am I going to start, right?
Yeah, as well.
Hard to do. Hard to do.
I've just got a couple of questions that have come up. Do vegans need to take vitamins? I've said yes, I would say so.
Well, I will tell you, on top of that, I think everybody should take a daily multivitamin every day. Yeah. And that's whether you're vegan or not. I think that we all have a problem with our food not having the nutrition in it that it used to have. I mean, we live in a society today where we have mechanized farms that spray lots of all kinds of products out there, and they kill the bacteria in the soil, and as a result, your vegetables aren't as healthy as they used to be. And so as a result of that, there's a lot of research that's been done that shows that by taking a daily multivitamin, and it doesn't matter the brand, an A to Z multivitamin reduces your risk of cancers of all kinds by 5 to 10%. So there you go. So that's a good reason to take a daily multivitamin.
Yeah, just that one reason alone.
Okay, Deborah, if you want to see Sue, if you want to chat to Sue, you have to go onto her account. So you would log out here and you would go over to Sue's account and then she could see you, but otherwise no, she won't be able to see. Is bowel function ramped up with fasting? Not necessarily, but some people find that fasting improves their digestive system, so you may notice that your bowels are a little bit more active today. And certainly as you adopt a whole food plant-based diet, you will become more regular and you'll have fewer digestive problems.
Definitely.
Okay,
I found that when I went
let's
vegan.
see, Violet, can you drink 0-calorie Gatorade? Sure. It's 0 calories, not going to break your fast. So, like I like to enjoy my 0-calorie soft drink in the evening. I've been pretty open about that. On my fasting days, that does not interfere with my fasting. So, Sue, you're having some tea, right? Weren't you having some tea earlier?
Yeah, I'm having some detox tea, which is, helping to detoxify me. I really love it. I drink it anyway. But today I must have had about 7 big flasks of it. I've got my Houston mug here
There you go.
Keeping it warm for me. I hope Wink is going to make me a flask of water so I can make some more while I'm on this call. Yeah, Wink's going from the kitchen. Who? Darling! Hot water. So yeah, today it's been the first time I've ever done a fast apart from just being so busy I haven't got round to eating, which is different from knowing you're on a fast because your head kind of plays a few tricks on you. And by about 10 o'clock this morning, I was up about 7. By about 10 o'clock, I was really hungry, which I'm never normally hungry at that time, whether I've had breakfast or not. So I just made myself another cup of tea, kept myself really hydrated. And then I was kind of fine until about 5:30. And then I have been hungry from about 5:30 kind of till about 8 o'clock. Then it went away. Then it came back a little bit about 10 o'clock. And now it's kind of there, but not so much. So I thought I would mention that because a lot of people that are fasting haven't got so far through their days yet. So I've just used my mindset to just tell myself I'm not hungry, I'm doing myself good, and I'm going to speed up the results that I want, and I've just pushed on through.
Good. Fantastic. Somebody asked if you can drink water. The answer is yes, of course you drink. We want you to drink fluids when you're fasting. It's a good time. So yes, it's a good time for you to get plenty of fluids. The one thing I will warn you about is if you fast and you drink too much, you will unfortunately find yourself getting up at night to go to the bathroom. So you might want to start cutting your fluids back at about 5 o'clock in the evening, maybe 6 o'clock. You definitely want to stay away from caffeinated beverages late in the evening because those can cause you some sleep issues as well. So there you go. We had some other questions here. Yep, multivitamin and mineral every day. That's good. Okay, Sal in Glasgow, doing first time vegan shopping. What should we be stocking up with? That's a great question. I think that what you need to do is you need to start planning on fresh fruits and vegetables, and that's the easiest way to start. Yeah. What I like to do is, I start with, making sure I have, a whole grain bread. I like Dave's Killer Bread. I don't know if it's available everywhere, but there are whole food, plant-based, or what they'll say vegan on the label, breads. And while you want to keep your starches to a minimum in your diet, you'll need some. And so, for example, this morning when I got up, I had a couple of pieces of, again, I ate today, right? I didn't fast today. So I had a couple of pieces of Dave's Killer Bread. They have like a super seed version, which is like 21 grains. It's amazing bread. Popped them in the toaster, put a little margarine on it, and I ate a banana, and that's how I started my day. So, what should you shop for? You should shop for things that you can eat readily that are not animal-based. And so let's start with, Sue, what do you love to eat?
I love vegetables. I love green vegetables. I enjoy fruit as well. I'm into bananas at the moment. I'm finding them really good. I find it a little bit more difficult to find fruit that I enjoy during the winter because the stuff you buy from the supermarkets tends to be a little bit tasteless. Not as good as you would want it to be. I love pulses. I absolutely love that. And I've got a whole range of kind of lentil and green pea pastas, which gives you that texture, and that's all gluten free because I like to be gluten free as well. I find I feel lighter on my feet, and I feel kind of better if I don't bog myself down with things too heavy. So really, right. I do a lot of stir fries with just chuck any vegetables in that I like. Put some nice oils in there, like avocado oil, macadamia nut oil, a little bit of toasted sesame seed oil, adds a little twist on the flavour, and then I throw some pulses in with it, vegan cheese. Vegetables with vegan cheese on it is absolutely lovely. And that's just something you don't have to really learn to cook. You can just chuck it all in a wok, do it all up. Sometimes if I'm putting like a brassica in, like cauliflower or broccoli, I will kind of steam them first because they can go a bit kind of crunchy and a bit burnt because they take longer to cook than things like grated courgette or stuff. I also have a spiralizer, so I make kind of spaghetti out of courgettes and carrots, And that's a nice texture because you can make a lovely sauce out of tomatoes and basil and garlic and just pour it all over it. And it's like a spaghetti bolognese without any meat, and it's delicious. It's just like fantastic and very quick.
Okay, and so what I also like to do for lunchtime, I try to have a green salad. I think if you try to work in a green salad once a day, it's kind of a good, satisfying way to get a lot of different vegetables in one meal. It's easy to do. You don't have to put a lot of lettuce in there. Get your romaine lettuce. Some people say don't eat iceberg. I think that's nonsense. I like iceberg lettuce. These are basically greens, and then I'll chop tomatoes in there, green peppers, onions. When I say green peppers, I mean bell peppers, and mushrooms. I'll slice good old-fashioned white mushrooms right in there, and I'll sprinkle some vinaigrette on it, and that'll be a lunch meal for me a lot of days. Fantastic.
That's absolutely fantastic.
So it can be as simple or as complex as you want.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of. I mean, if you wanted to do like if you like lasagna, just go onto Google and put vegan lasagna, and see what you can make it with. There's loads of, like, if you like chili con carne, there's loads of vegan chilies you can make. You just put loads of lentils and pulses, all different types, and all your veg in there, and your tomatoes and your chili, and it's just delicious. It's absolutely delicious. Even my son likes that, and he doesn't like vegetables. Even Wink will eat that. So it is really, really good.
Right. And another thing that I have found that works for me is there's a couple of big soup manufacturers that have gotten into the vegan soup business. And what I've discovered in the evening, what I'll do is I'll open a can of like Progresso, one of their vegan cans, and I'll open a small can of some navy beans or some pinto beans, and I'll put about a half a can of that into a saucepan with the soup mix, stir it up. We're talking about less than $2 as the cost, and I'll heat it up, and I'll put a little bit of some of my favorite grilling powders into it. I like a little bit spicier food. And I'll eat that, and it's a delicious filling meal, and it'll be about 300 calories, maybe a little bit more. But it's fantastic, and I feel wonderful doing it. Sherry, I want to answer your question real quick. We had a question from Sherry Spencer. She said she heard that vegetarians eat too much pasta and etc. And Sherry, that is a big problem that whole food plant-based eaters have. It also is a problem that vegetarians have because they try to make up the calories that they were getting in other places by eating too many starches. And so that's why I like to split out starches from fruits and vegetables. Okay, it's very important because it's so easy to start putting on weight if you eat a really high starch diet. Okay, your body will take those calories and turn it into fat. Now you'll be healthier, but you will gain weight and you won't feel as good. So what we recommend is that 80% of your diet come from fresh fruits and vegetables, and I'm talking about colors, greens and reds and purple onions and white mushrooms and all these colors. And the more colors you could throw into there, the better.
Eat the rainbow.
Eat the rainbow. 10% of your diet should come from mushrooms, and 10% of your diet should be starches. Should be your rice or your quinoa or potatoes or whatever you want to make. But what I found is that there's starches are really everywhere. So for me, I just focus on making sure I get the fresh fruits and vegetables, and the starches seem to take care of themselves. I know when I'm eating too many starches. I feel it. So that's really not a big problem.
But there are lots of alternatives to the bad starches, like sweet potato instead of white potato is much more healthy, especially if you're trying to drop weight as well as get healthy. And in fact, if you get healthy, you do drop weight. You need to get healthy to lose weight, not lose weight to get healthy. But that's a good swap out. And then if you look for gluten-free pastas, there are loads. There's a red lentil pasta. I'm sure you have it in the States and in other countries. It's delicious. The green pea fusilli is my favourite, but there's loads and loads of pastas you can get that don't have gluten in them, which are a lot less heavy, much easier to digest. So try looking for things that you can swap out.
And Kelly just posted something. She says she loves rice, and I will tell you that I like rice too, but if you're going to eat rice, get the brown rice and make it yourself. Or you can get brown rice in packets that you just throw in the microwave. The DW recently, she did a little shopping at Costco, and she got me these little vegetable bowls that have just a little bit of quinoa. They have some greens, and you throw it in the microwave, and it comes out, and it's just a delicious meal, and it's perfect. So it's really simple to eat vegan. What's not simple, it's simple, but it's not easy, because sometimes it's difficult to stay away from the meat products. And that's what somebody else talked about, vegetarians, and a lot of vegetarians think that they're eating a lot healthier, and in some ways they are if they're avoiding pork. But I will tell you, if you're eating eggs, you might as well eat chicken, because you're getting the same proteins. If you're eating butter and cheese and ice cream and drinking milk, you might as well have a steak, because you're getting those same animal proteins that do the same damage to your body. Okay, let's see. What are pulses was a question for you, Sue.
Right, pulses are beans, so pinto beans, kidney beans, any kind of bean, black-eyed beans. They're all called pulses, so they're all, anything from the bean family. Baked beans are pulses, but baked beans aren't so healthy because they're full of sugar and full of way too much salt and a load of ingredients you can't actually spell or read out loud. So that's what pulses are. I've got quite a few medical questions here for you. Can I chuck some of them at you?
Yes, but let me throw in one thing. If you're eating baked beans, you're not eating a whole food. All right, if you're getting a baked bean product that's loaded with sugar, you're eating a processed food. So that would not fit into a whole food plant-based diet. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm ready.
Right, I've got, somebody said, they had a sleeve done, like a gallbladder, I think this is, in September 2015, and then in December, her gallbladder infracted. Is that a medical word, or is it a typo? I'm not sure.
I think the word is infarcted.
Yes, infarcted. Must pronounce that carefully. When they removed the gallbladder, they discovered a growth which was removed, but she stopped losing weight and asking for help.
Okay, so you don't have a gallbladder, and you've had the gastric sleeve. So this is a person who's had trouble with weight, and probably at some point in his or her life has had morbid obesity, and as a result, they went through the gastric sleeve procedure to lose the weight. And along the way, they ended up with a gallbladder problem, and they had some kind of tumor, or they had something else they found, and that was removed. However, they're overeating their gastric sleeve. And this is my problem with bariatric surgery that I talk to people about that want to go have it. First of all, anybody that comes to my clinic that has a body mass index of 40 or higher, they are medically diagnosed immediately by me as morbidly obese. And I give them an automatic referral to see a bariatric surgeon. Do I want them to go have bariatric surgery? No. But I want them to know what they're up against if they don't start doing something with their bodies. And for people who have trouble with weight, almost always they're eating a lot of cheap calories in the form of animal products. And a lot of people that have the gastric sleeve, the first thing their doctors tell them is, get lots of protein. And as a result, they're eating animal protein thinking that's what they have to have. Now, everybody's a little bit different in what stage they're in after they've had the sleeve. If you're 4 years out after a sleeve, your stomach has stretched and you're able to overeat again, so you're overeating the sleeve. And as a result, your body is basically just like everybody else's as far as your stomach is concerned. So you need to learn to eat whole food, plant-based, 80%, like we talked about, fruits and vegetables, 10% mushroom, and 10% starch. You will lose weight if you do that along with intermittent fasting. If you don't want to do the intermittent fasting, you can lose weight on a whole food plant-based diet. It's very, very difficult to be overweight, stage 1 or stage 2 obese or morbidly obese if you're eating a whole food plant-based diet. It is not impossible. It is just very difficult. In fact, I talked recently with a bariatric surgeon. I said, do you ever get any vegans in here? And he told me in 20 years of practicing, he had one vegan who was obese enough to qualify for the sleeve. Just one. So that tells you it's very difficult to be overweight and eat a whole food plant-based diet.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it okay for, but I don't know if you said this because I was reading, bariatric patients to fast? I've got that question. It is. Okay.
Yes. Assuming that's their only problem and they don't have other medicines and they're on insulin or things like that. If the only issue they have is that they've had bariatric surgery, and they're getting their vitamin and mineral levels measured from time to time, there's absolutely no problem with fasting, and there's no problem staying nutritionally healthy with a variety of whole food, plant-based foods.
Okie dokes, cool. Thank you for that. Are there any meds that will interact adversely with Meta-7?
No. The only thing I ask people to do with Meta-7 is I ask them if they're on warfarin, which is a blood thinner, to please be sure to let their doctors know. But even it does not cause a problem with warfarin or Coumadin. Why is pork worse than other meat? Well, it seems like the fats and mostly the fats that you get in pork are a lot more difficult for the body to handle. So I really recommend if you only hear one thing today and you cut pork out of your diet completely, you've done something good for yourself. I think bacon should be illegal. I love bacon, man. I love it. The darling wife was telling me yesterday that I think it's McCormick. They have imitation bacon bits that are vegan. They're outstandingly delicious. But if you're addicted to pork, if you're addicted to burgers with cheese and bacon on it, you're on your way to diabetes and heart disease. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me have a look. I've got some questions.
Somebody asked me also about IBS, and I can't answer about IBS in how to eat with IBS because there are more than one kind of IBS. There is IBS-C, which is constipation-prone IBS, and there's IBS-D, which is diarrhea-prone IBS. And these are very, very individualized diet plans that we work with patients depending on what their symptoms are. So there's not a straight-up answer for that question. I will tell you, though, that patients that have irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, if they go whole food plant-based, they do seem to get an improvement in their symptoms in whatever they're doing, whatever their issue is.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
I know, Patsy. I got to apologize to all the bacon lovers out there. I'm just going to tell you how it is. It's straight up. If you want to eat bacon, and you're going to have a hard time staying healthy. It's just difficult. You're loading up triglycerides and cholesterol in your body. Your body has to handle all of that. It ends up layering out in your arteries. It ends up leading to heart disease. It ends up causing insulin resistance in the peripheral cells, and it leads to type 2 diabetes. And those are facts. You can take that to the bank. Your turn, Sue.
Right,
Woo! I'm going now. I'm going to get going soon. Watch out.
Right, I've got a lady who has asked, she's not sure if she can do fasting because she has measles sclerosis and also demyelination. I don't know if I said that right.
Give her my email address and have her email me, and I'll review her issues and I'll let her know if it's safe or not.
Okay, Lupita, email Dr. Gilmore, okay, and he'll have a look at that for you.
Here's an interesting question from Deborah, and I apologize to the ones I've missed. So if I miss your question and you want to come back and you just ask it again later, I'll try to get to it. Won't the vegetables and fruits make you bloat and give you gas? When you make the initial transition, well, wait a minute, Sue, hang on a second.
Okay.
When you make the initial transition from eating almost entirely animal products, which is what most of our diets in America are, when you initially start into fresh fruits and vegetables and eating like we're talking whole food plant-based, you are going to have more gas, but your body will deal with that. Your body will begin to adjust, and the bacteria that live in your abdomen will begin to change. And as a result, you will be able to handle those foods without having as much gas, okay? If it's a big problem, like you're in an office setting, then you can get products right over the counter like Beano and Phazyme. You put a couple of drops on your food, and it knocks it out. You don't have to worry about it then. So for social reasons, if it's an issue, there are products you can use that will help with that. But I can tell you, I don't have that problem. But I did have more gas back in February when I made the change, but I don't anymore. And Sue, you were shaking your head too. You don't have a problem with that.
No, I don't have any. I'm very healthy in that area. And you know, people think if you have lots of vegetables that it's going to be a really gassy experience, but I haven't found that at all. Not at all. But you're right, actually, when you flip over or when you go, oh, I know, I'll just eat some meat because I'm in Texas, y'all. You know. Then you know, you change what you're you know, it's just like, I don't know, if you go abroad and you eat different food, your stomach has a different reaction because it's not used to processing that. But no, that isn't a problem. So you can scratch that one off your list of disadvantages because
no, it's not a good excuse because it's really not a big problem.
No, it isn't.
No, it's
Absolutely.
not. Let's see. Do you have a question? You got the next one, Sue. Go ahead.
Okay. I've had to divide my writing. Okay, I'm just looking at some more. People are just suggesting, you know, saying what they have, like papaya smoothies and lots of water. And somebody gave up drinking soda 3 months ago and dropped 27 pounds or something like that, or a lot of pounds. That's quite high up. But how have people, I think probiotics help a lot, Nancy. Do probiotics help? I absolutely swear by my probiotic and it keeps my gut running smoothly. So I'm a big fan of probiotics, but a lot of them don't work. You have to get a very good one that actually works all the way through your gut, not one that gets killed in your stomach. Because that's money for old rope. 11 kilos somebody's lost through having fruit smoothies and healthy eating. I'd be interested to know how people have felt on their fast, if they've been finding it difficult to get their head round or found it difficult to keep motivated while they're feeling hungry.
You know what? I just got a message from Debs. She would like to come on and tell us how her fast has gone, and she had an interesting visit with her doctor a couple of days ago. She wants to tell her story. Can we bring her in and let her tell her story?
Absolutely.
What do you guys think? Can we do that?
Yeah. I've got to go back onto this main screen and click on it when she enters.
All right, I'm going to see if I can invite her in.
Right. Just somebody's... Right, I've got Anne has said that she takes, I don't know what you said, you must have, what you were saying, but she's a little bit offended about what you said about being an overeater, because she says she's never been an overeater and been active all her life until she stuffed her knee up and had to have an operation. So I think what she's saying is she's gained some weight after not being able to be so active. What advice would you give her?
Okay, hang on. I was busy bringing Debs in.
Okay,
can we hold that question and let's let Debs tell her story real quick? Can we do that?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And then we'll get back to it, okay?
Okay, Anne, we're on hold. Right, hang
on. We're just gonna let you go, Debs. Welcome. Okay. You and Lee fasted today, so tell us we're ready. You got the floor. You go.
Okay. So, we're doing this together, and this morning was pretty good. This afternoon I got pretty slug. I got some anxiety with it, actually. Yeah, there's Lee. I had a couple of crying episodes because I just couldn't concentrate on what I was trying to do. But it did pass, and I was able to finish my projects this afternoon, so I did continue with my sewing. So I made a couple of curtains this afternoon. I'm feeling kind of hungry right now, but we're just sitting here drinking our tea. But back to the conversation, I did go to my sleep doctor yesterday, and he was all in favor of us doing the vegan and also being on the Meta 7 and doing the fasting. Yes.
Hey, surprise there, huh?
No.
I can't see Debbie on my channel.
Yeah, she'll pop. Well, you've got to click her in.
I can't see her on the little button. I just thought I'd just mention that.
Okay.
Okay. Carry on. Sorry.
I can see her fine, so I think it's your iCam. You need to click her in. But go ahead.
Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to share that because with my narcolepsy, I do get pretty sluggish during the day, and I am on the Ritalin 4 times a day. And so as we were talking yesterday, he's from India, so he's naturally vegan, and he was all for it. Even if we only went 80% vegan, he said he would follow us and make sure everything was going good. And he thought that with my narcolepsy, it could only help. And because I also have the sleep apnea, that losing the weight will help with the sleep apnea too. I am on a low dose blood pressure medication. It's not very strong, but I am on it. And I got my blood drawn yesterday, so I'm just waiting for my blood results. But the interesting thing is that he was aware of Meta7, and he looked at the label on it, and he was just totally for it. Hopefully that will help with some of the energy levels and stuff. So I was very pleased with that. And what else do you want me to say about it? Because we had a long conversation yesterday too.
This is your time. However you want to. So you basically you discussed everything that we've been talking about, and
right.
He didn't have anything negative to say. In fact, he was very positive and encouraging for a whole food plant-based diet with intermittent fasting. He felt like that would help not only your sleep apnea but your narcolepsy as well.
Right.
Good.
We have the 3 generations in our family. Myself and our daughters and our granddaughter all have it. So he thought that could only improve our symptoms. Of course, narcolepsy cannot be cured. It can only be controlled.
Good.
And so hopefully I won't have to take as many stimulants because I don't like the heart racing, which is one of the drawbacks from taking the stimulants. But it is something that I have to do or I fall asleep during the day.
Right, understand.
Right.
So you look remarkably spry for someone who has failed to consume any calories today.
I think maybe that's just the lighting in here.
Lee looks pretty good too. You guys look like you're handling it real well together. This is a really good couples thing to do.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because 8 years ago or so, I was on an HGC diet, which included calorie restrictions. So I have an advantage in that I've kind of been down this road once. But if you don't change the way that you eat, the weight comes back.
Right.
And so, what do you do going forward? And is it sustainable? And how do you make sure that you make the right choices all the time and keep the weight off?
Right. And we found yesterday too that knowing that we were going to be doing this fasting, we were running kind of late because that's something that happens when I have a narcoleptic episode, we call it. And we actually ran up 2 flights of stairs to his office because the elevator was going down instead of going up.
Mm-hmm.
And then came back down the stairs, and that's something we haven't been able to do for quite a while.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to give you an opportunity to kind of share your story today and your medical visit, and I think it'll be really interesting since you got a whole series of blood work done day before yesterday, or recently, that you'll have something to compare with in a few weeks or a month or two if you go back and have them recheck to see how much healthier your body may be in your kidney function and where you are with your hemoglobin A1C, which is a marker for diabetes, and where you may be in other areas too, so like cholesterol, etc. So fantastic. Well, that's good. I'm really proud of you guys.
And then I also talked to the doctor about the narcolepsy, and he was very for me to be able to talk to others that have the narcolepsy about my side as a patient, about my symptoms. Hopefully, maybe I can give some insight to other people too.
Yeah.
We have had the narcolepsy in our family diagnosed for 10 years now, and then going on with 3 generations.
Well, we're calling ourselves the Vegan Club, and Sue and I are committed to helping people get healthier. And hopefully, you'll be back on in later broadcasts that we do, and you can tell us how you're doing and how you're feeling and all of that, and how your symptoms may or may not be improving.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay,
that'd be
fantastic.
brilliant. That's just fantastic. And the great thing about having somebody to do this with, and this, maybe some of you that are listening could, maybe do it with a friend, because when you've got somebody that you're doing it with, it gives you so much motivation and you can spur each other on. It really helps you stick the path, because when you do something new, it can be very difficult. And there's a lot of talk in your head about, I don't know, maybe I can't do this. Maybe, I found it hard today. The more you make this a habit, the easier it becomes. And the thing about habits is habits are things that you do subliminally in the background. You don't have to concentrate on the way you put your toothpaste on your toothbrush. You do it without thinking, because it's a habit. So when you create new habits, which this routine is going to become a new habit for you, once you've broken in the habit, the willpower and the struggle does disappear. So I just wanted to put that out there, because when you're creating a habit, it can be difficult, because you have to battle with the voices in your head that say, I can't do this. Oh, it won't work for me. Because just stick with it. Stick with it until you make it a habit. And then it will be something that you do as a kind of a background operation. It's just what you do, like the way you stir your tea, the way you put your trousers on in the morning. It's a habit. You won't have to focus so much on it, but at the beginning there's a lot of focusing needed. Just stay strong, and if you can find somebody to do this with, your partner or one of your children or your friend or something, it will be something. It's a lot of fun doing something new with somebody else. So that was great to hear that Lee's actually, doing that with you, Debs, because, that's going to make you both more successful. And of course you've got this group where we're all spurring each other on.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said with him being retired, it makes it a little bit easier because we're always together,
Okay, so we're kind of up against a break. I'm going to invite you back in the future, so we're going to let you go now. Thanks for sharing with us, okay? We're trying to be a little bit more time conscious this time so that we don't go on for hours.
Yeah.
Thanks, Debs. We'll see you again soon.
I'll hopefully get you on my channel next time. Sorry.
Okay. I've got one more person that I've been communicating with that has diabetes, and her name is Sherry, and she wants to come on, so I'm trying to work with her. So anyway, so that hasn't happened yet, but we're 50 minutes into this. Remember, we talked about doing a break after 1 hour, so we'll do, if it's okay with you, we'll do like a 5-minute intermission, and then we'll start so we'll do a part 2 after that. Okay, Sue?
Okay.
So I want to get to your questions. You had a medical question for me, and so if you still have that question, holler it out. If not, I had a couple of questions I can do.
It was about the lady who put on weight because she bust her knee and had to have surgery, and she's not an overeater, but she's put on a lot of weight because I don't know how much weight, she didn't say. This is Anne, because she can't move around so readily. So,
well, let me just tell Anne that you're listening to a person here who's had 2 neck surgeries over the last 3 years. Exercise is out of the picture for me. I can't run. I can't ride bicycle. I can't do any of those things. And yet I've managed to drop over 50 pounds since February. I can tell you, though you don't think you're overeating, you may not be overeating as far as feeling like you're overeating, but you're getting more calories than your body needs, or else you wouldn't be putting on weight. Now, that's a medical fact. The only exception to that rule is if you have a thyroid problem that's been undiagnosed. But my guess is if you went through pre-op clearance, etc., there's a good chance somebody checked your thyroid. So assuming you're euthyroid, meaning normal thyroid, you're getting more calories than your body needs. And you're getting cheap calories and you're getting lots of them, and you don't realize most likely how much you're actually getting. And I used to give my patients a real hard time about being overweight, and I'm a lot easier on them now because I realize now that a lot of us don't understand the calorie content of what's being pushed on us all day long is what we're supposed to be eating. And by making change to a whole food plant-based diet where every meal becomes a deliberate activity as opposed to just eating because we do it all day, you find that you get healthier and you drop weight fast and you get a lot closer to your healthier weight, okay? So I hope that helps. I don't mean to offend, but we have to realize that we as people in these countries, Canada, US, UK, we're all overweight because we're eating too much in the form of cheap calories, and most of it is animal based. And so I don't mean to offend, but it is a fact. Let me go on. Somebody asked a question about probiotic. What's a good probiotic? Sue, I'm going to throw that one at you. That's that's kind of your area.
Yeah. I use a probiotic called Digestion Plus, which is patent pending. It is a probiotic. It is also a prebiotic, and it has 14 digestive enzymes within it. So the enzymes work through the gut. The prebiotic kind of prepares the gut for the probiotic, and it works all the way through the gut. It's an Arbonne product, and if you want any more information on that, if you can send me a message, and I will look. If you can actually put a comment on this video rather than in the live feed, because you can't see the live feed until you're in the bit where the live feed comes. So it's really hard to find. So if you could stick a message on this for me, I will give you some more information on that. But it's absolutely incredible, and I know scores of people who have had the most incredible results using it. So it's responsible for my menopause symptoms going, and that was before I became plant-based and vegan. I got my strength, my stamina, my mobility. I couldn't lift a laundry basket, and my mental health improved tremendously because your serotonin is produced in your gut. So if your gut is sludgy, your head is not making as many happy chemicals in your head. So I absolutely swear by it. So do stick a comment in this video. We're going to break from this one, so stick it in this one, and then I will arrange to contact. I don't know if you're friends with me on Facebook. I don't know, but if you are, send me a messenger, and I'll send you some more information on it. I hope that's answered the question. Are we going to break now?
Yeah, let's do our break now. I've got another couple of really good questions. So what we're going to do, folks, we're just going to log off, so the feed will stop, and then we're going to restart a part 2. And the reason being so that we don't create this 3-hour-long video that people can't navigate through. So don't go away. We got more. So we're going to take 5, Sue. You and I can just leave Skype going. So I'm just going to turn mine off for a moment, and then I'll restart, and you can restart as you're ready too, okay?
Yeah, okay. So if there's a question that there's some loads of good questions have just come through, can you just copy and paste those into the new feed when we come back on? If you could do that, please. Susan, Nancy, and Marie. So if you could just copy and paste those and pop them into the new video when we come back up live, that would be brilliant. Okay, we'll see you in 5.
5.
Okay, cheerio. I don't know how to switch it off, mind you.
You may still be online then. So you have a little button on the far right bottom of your big black box there that says Ecamm Live that says End Broadcast.
Right, okay.
You have to end the broadcast.